Hey friends, good afternoon. Friday, February 24, here in New York City, 5th Avenue, right next to Guggenheim. It's sunny, it's 40 degrees, but it's oddly mega windy. So we'll see how cold it gets. Let's take a look at the Guggenheim. Sebastian's here. Always good to see you. Beautiful sky today. So we're starting at, what would that be, 89th Street and 5th Avenue. And we'll just work our way. I think we're going to primarily walk 5th today. It's about as much of a plan as I have so far. Paul, good to see you. Pittsburgh Living, good to see you. ABX. Hello, friends. It's really nice to see everybody. So with the sun and the clear sky, it feels really nice, but like I was saying, there's these massive gusts today. Throwing us for a loop. I get these emails from the city, New York City alerts, and the afternoon alert was plug in your cell phones, charge your phones, 40-mile-per-hour gusts in case, power outages and stuff. We don't really get too many of those, but it's what they tell you. Donna, hello, good afternoon. If you guys haven't had a chance yet, I posted a 2-hour no talking video yesterday morning from Central Park, right next to us, of rain sounds. It was one of those days where we almost went live, but every now and then you just want to capture those sounds. RoboJax, good to see you. It's a beautiful day here in New York City. Hopefully we won't have too much wind. I got the mic on, so hopefully you guys won't really hear much of it, but it's more for your humble host's hands. Though I did remember to bring gloves today. Yeah, ABX, it's our occasional ASMR series. That one's really fun to listen to. And it started yesterday with sleet. I thought it was rain, but then I noticed it was ice. So at first you get this like crackling sound. It's really cool. Hopefully you'll enjoy. British Gray, Nibul. Everybody go check out Nibul. Fantastic streamer from one of the most gorgeous places on earth, the south of France. On our left here as we cross 86th Street, a major cross street on the Upper East Side, the Neue Gallery, European art. There's that wind. So depending on how strong some of the gusts are, I'm actually also a little curious how the Gimbal's going to do. We'll find out. As we cross over here, 85th and 84th, we make our way over to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, my favorite museum in New York City. And I've mentioned them before. There's a podcast called The Bowery Boys. So if you're really interested in New York City, the Bowery Boys do a podcast on New York City history. Hey Marv, S. Fields, good to see you. Thanks for being on our random wanderings. So the Bowery Boys New York City History Podcast, highly recommend it. The reason I mention it right now as we get to the Met is, and I haven't listened to this episode yet, so I may get some of my facts wrong, but I believe it is a former security guard from the Met wrote a book about the beautiful museum, and they interviewed him, so I'm really eager to listen to that episode and learn some insider tips and tricks about the Met. But definitely check out that podcast. That's so good to see everybody. And as always, a big thank you to my wife, Lisa, who's looking after the kiddo so I can get out. And obviously, I'm sure all of you are still thinking of her. Had a tough month. So as we cross 84th Street here, we enter the grounds of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Gosh, look at that sky. So we're, like I said, on 84th Street, and if you look all the way down through these manicured trees, you can see a tower in the far distance. Empire State Building. Maybe we'll get there. We'll see where our legs take us today. I thought about maybe the High Line. I don't know. We'll see how things are feeling as we go. Yeah, definitely check out Nabul's channel. Get some epic water views, sunsets, and of course the European architecture. A lot of little surprises here and there. Food carts. This one, hot dog, fries, and a drink, $8.99. Those New York City prices. British Grey has a vote for Wall Street. Okay, so let's see. So we're at 83rd. So we'd have to go 83 blocks plus. I'm so bad at the non-numbered streets, however many. Probably another 2 miles. So that's 80, that's 4 miles. Plus another 2, 6 miles to it's probably about 6 miles to get to Wall Street. We might. Never say never. Never say never. Oh, Nabul's had some parades. Yeah, we've been a little off the... we haven't been on YouTube quite as often lately, just with some family stuff going on, as many of you are aware of. I'll have to check into that. Brenda's here from Daytona Beach. So we've had like early spring. I don't know if anybody... I was on Gabe, Walking Commuter's channel the other day. Finally caught a morning stream. I'm usually trying to catch whatever Z's I can get. But it was on Gabe's stream the other day. He went to Stuyvesant Town and he noticed that some of the cherry blossoms were already blooming, which tells you something about the state of winter here in New York City. But today feels like a winter day. Nabul wants to have a hot dog over here? Yeah. One of these guys wrote a book. I don't see it's too windy for him to put his sign out today. Field says, Nabul makes me want to have an under the Saint-Tropez sun experience. Yeah, that sounds nice. My wife has visited France, Paris once, wants to go back. I've never been. We went through France on a train, literally just passing through. So she wants to see Paris. I think I want to see Saint-Tropez. So let's explore 5th. Let's see how far it takes us. We got some votes for getting pretty far south. Let's see what happens. When it's cold like this, it does help walking long distances. So we'll see what happens. Nabul, yeah. So the story with a lot of there's a limited number of vendor permits in New York City. There's all this controversy around it because unlicensed vendors get hassled, and there's a lot of debate whether that's a great use of enforcement. capacity. But one exception to those rules, I guess, has to do with veterans. And this is some 200-year-old law that basically grants veterans the right to vend. And so there's been all these on and off again fights about that, but I guess one of them must have written a book about the experience. I'll have to get that one day. Lost Flag Girl. What a gorgeous day. I thought it would be gray and cold. Yeah, yesterday was so gray, but we got some good rain sounds, so check out that video. But when we saw what a blue sky we had today, gorgeous sun is out, here we are. S-Field says, are vendor permits inheritable? That is a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that. It's a good question because since they're limited, what happens when somebody retires or just no longer wants to use their permit? I don't know the answer to that. Maybe somebody in the chat does. Brenda says, you think there will be any snow in the city? Too bad Michigan and Illinois couldn't share some of theirs. So that's a great question. So there's this huge storm that's going to cover like the whole country. And as usual, you look at the map and it like literally goes from like California all the way to the East Coast. And for whatever reason, New York is like right on the edge. We're always on the edge. There's something about the geography here. Hold on, wait for this bus to go by. Always mention Via Albertine right here, the most beautiful bookstore in New York City. If you don't know about it, if you're new to the channel, Google the Via Albertine. It's a French bookstore, speaking of France, in the French embassy. But anybody can go in and you don't have to buy anything. You can just browse if you want. But it has the most amazing ceilings in New York City. So to answer Brenda's question, I don't know if there's going to be snow or not. We'll see. It's been such a bizarre winter. We've had all these 60, 65 degree days, which, as I was saying, triggered the cherry blossoms in Stuyvesant Town. So I don't know what's happening. Kind of sad to think that they blossom because of those warm days, and then you get a day like today where it's going to go down to the low 30s, maybe even the 20s. And I don't know if they're going to handle that too well. We'll see what happens. Stays here. Alan? It's a heat island. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I think the harbor has something to do with it, something about Long Island and the water and all this stuff. But for sure, all the concrete jungle has something to do with it. Tracy Alembic, good to see everybody. Victory, hey. Ramona. Sorry if I missed your chat. Trying not to trip on the uneven surface here. Victory asking about the family. Yeah, well, the kiddo's doing great. We just had his 4-month appointments. Everything was, our doctor always likes to say, we can let the family know we're doing an okay job. He keeps checking all the boxes. So we can't be happier about that. If you've watched some of our last live stream, I kind of shared what we've been up to, why we've been off the air. So, wife in particular has had a very rough month. But, we're hanging in there best we can. So everybody send your love to Lisa. Healing wishes. Osfly asks, can we smell the cherry blossoms? Well, I haven't been to Stuytown in a long time. One of my favorite walks over here is the reservoir at Central Park, which has a ring of cherry blossoms. I haven't noticed any there blossom yet. And then we're coming up here to one of my favorite parts of the park, another favorite part, which is called Conservatory Water. We don't usually show it from this angle, but that's the model sailboat pond. And right next to the water is Pilgrim Hill. Pilgrim Hill is covered in cherry blossoms. So the moment we start to see them come in, we will go see them and we will attempt to smell them. That would be lovely. But to be honest, I kind of want snow before cherry blossoms. It's been such a letdown of a winter. Sally's here. Good to see you. And thank you everybody for the good wishes. Gives Lisa strength. 74th Street here, 5th Avenue. Nellie, good to hear you. Good to see you. Reading your comment as I respond. Ooh, look at the sky. It's just so beautiful today. Where is the order of nature? That is a great question. It is all screwed up here. It is all screwed up. But my armchair philosophizing is that seasons tend to average out. And so what I mean by that is, I think we could get like a really, really rough storm at some point to even out the temperature and the snow totals and stuff. I could be wrong, but we've had storms into April before, so we'll see what happens. I'm not like hoping for that, but we'll see what happens. Coming up on 72nd Street, a great place to enter the park. You can take it right over to, if you take it all the way, you could take it to Strawberry Fields. And then right here for Conservatory Water, and then halfway into the park, Bethesda, the terrace, the fountain, the mall. It's a great place to enter the park on either side. But we're going to stick on 5th today. And as we come to 71st Street, this stretch of 5th Avenue goes by Museum Mile, another museum over here. So we've seen the Guggenheim, we've seen the Met, we've seen the Neue Gallery. And then up here on the left at between 71st and 70th is the Henry Clay Frick House, normally home to the Frick Collection. But they're renovating the mansion right now. And so the collection is over on Madison Avenue. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't, no predictions or anything. Just something I've observed anecdotally. We'll see what happens. Alan says, I hear those city bikes are rather pricey to rent. That's a good question. I don't remember next time we see one, I'll see if I can look at the prices. A lot of people have memberships, which cut down on the cost. Richard Morris Hunt. And as we walk down 5th, all of this to our right is Central Park. To our left is the Upper East Side of Manhattan. imagine how beautiful this is when it is covered in snow. One day. I think everybody, after seeing what happened in upstate New York, was like completely shocked that Manhattan has gotten so little. You can start to see the towers of Billionaires Row competing with the tree line here. And the beautiful blue sky. It is a gorgeous day today. And we've been, knock on wood, lucky with the wind so far. Pittsburgh says Frick had a home in Pittsburgh from 1882 to 1905. I'll have to look that up because I wonder if it was as ornate and as ridiculous as the mansion here. RJ's here, good to see you. Terry, good afternoon. Oh, Terry, you're in Albuquerque, correct? Oh, and I guess I should share an update on, so the celebrity in Central Park is the owl named Flacco, who on Superb Owl Sunday we did see. And we had a long conversation about sort of why Flacco was what was going on. So Flacco was broken out of the Central Park Zoo. And so there was a big recovery effort because the concern with Flacco was he had been in captivity for like a decade, and at first it wasn't clear whether he was eating or able to hunt. Eventually it became clear that he does hunt and has been feeding himself. And so I posted recently that the Central Park Zoo has given up its recovery efforts. So what they're doing now is they're just going to monitor him and make sure he's doing okay. If it ever becomes clear that he's not able to fend for himself or feed himself, I suspect they'll try again to recover him. But it seemed like a good outcome. In any event, we saw him down here, kind of in the southern end of the park, southwest end, on the west side. And he's moved north, so I think we probably saw him in, like the 65th Street, something like that. And I think he's moved up to like the 105th Street, something on the west side. So I haven't seen him in a while. I did not see him on the rain walk yesterday because I didn't know where he would be. But one day we'll try to go see him and we'll try to visit him again. Teresa's here. Ollie. Osfly says, wow, we really adapt. Yeah, he, it was the best possible outcome. This is why it's really not advisable to break animals out of the zoo, because it's completely, many of them are not able to readapt that way. He's been in captivity for 10 plus years, but he did readapt, so good outcome. We're happy for Flacco. And it's fun to have another little local celebrity that we can always look for in the park. Temple Emmanuel on our left. And speaking of, the Central Park Zoo on our right. This is the kids part of the zoo. Get to take my little kiddo here one of these days. And then as we cross 65th Street here, coming up on one of our favorite buildings in the Central Park, one of two buildings that predates the park, the Armory. Just wait for the light to change. Oh, Alan got the City bike prices for us. $4.49 for the first 30 minutes and 26 cents per minute after. I wonder, I had a membership once. I'll have to think about what that did. It made it, I guess I didn't have to pay that first fee. Maybe I only paid the second fee. Here's the Armory. Again, one of two structures to predate Central Park. Hard as that is to believe. Home to the New York City Parks Department, an art gallery, and public restrooms. And down over here is the Delacorte clock. Let me look at my watch. Should we go? Why don't we go listen to the Delacorte clock? So we'll go look at the zoo for a few minutes. So we have a 7-minute, it always starts a couple minutes late. So let's say we have a 10-minute wait. So let's go check out the Armory. We'll go walk around the zoo for a few minutes. And then when we hear the chimes of the Delacorte clock, we'll go listen to it chime 2 p.m. here in New York City. Leela, good to see you. Ambrose. I have a handy dandy history sign right here that we can share some of. Try to do some on the fly summary. Let's see what we got. Hey, Layla's here. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Sierra. So we're here at the Arsenal. Historic Arsenal is one of two buildings in Central Park predating the park. Martin T. Thompson designed a fortress-like stuccoed structure it was an actual arsenal, so it was for the military. Built between 1847 and 1851 by the state of New York as a storage repository for munitions. Its military use was short-lived. In 1857, the city purchased it, removed all the arms, and established the park administrative functions on the premises. So that's why it's now home to the New York City Parks Department. In 1859, the menagerie, later the zoo, was created in and around the arsenal. When the American Museum of Natural History was founded, its first home was the arsenal from 1869 to 1877. That's amazing. And then a gallery of art occupied the first floor in the early 1870s, so that's why there's now an art gallery in there. Huh. Amazing. I walk Park Avenue all the time, and you guys have probably seen the Park Avenue Armory. So we have these kind of crazy old Civil War era structures around New York City that are immense and often really beautiful to look at. Sierra is asking, where are we walking today? So we're primarily walking Fifth Avenue, but since the timing is working out, we're going to go listen to the Delacorte clock chime 2 p.m. Delacorte clock, the famous dancing animal clock here at the Central Park Zoo. So we have a few minutes. So we're going to watch the sea lions, if we can, as we wait for 2 p.m. And the clock always starts like a minute or two late, so a couple minutes after 2 p.m. Let's see if we can find the sea lions, though. Ooh, I see a ball. They're playing. Where'd the ball go? There was a big purple ball. Oh, there's a sea lion. Hold on. Let me, once I find them, I can zoom. Amber says, so the Parks Department doesn't need the firearms. I'm in favor of the Parks Department having a cannon, personally. So this is the sea lion pool here at the zoo. So the sea lions, they're good at entertaining the people. So fortunately we have a big group of people over here on the left. So they go in this loop. There's one now under the water. It's probably hard for you guys to see. So we're gonna wait until they poke their heads out over here. Okay, I see one under the water, and then one's being fed across the way. Oh, there he is. There we go. There we go. They're moving quickly today. They're getting their exercise. So hopefully we can hang out over here, and hopefully they'll start popping out over on this side. This is where I saw the purple ball. I want to see them play with a ball. Oh, there we go. I think they're going to get fed over here. That would be good. There we go. There's the purple ball. There we go. Oh, no, come back, come back. I don't know if you guys caught that. So the sea lion just shot the ball out of the pool. He wants to play.
Guy down there feeding the fish, Daddy. Guy down there feeding the fish.
There's the ball. They want to play catch. He keeps launching it out. I love it. Oh, there's our cue. How good is that? Yeah, I didn't have a clue what that was either. So I do know it has a, how should I say this? So it used to be fully mechanical, but at some point they made the audio digital, and I think it has like 40 songs that it plays. And thankfully the animals were dancing, because for a while there they hadn't been dancing. Operation of chimes and animated figures, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily on the hour and half hour gift of George Delacourt Fund. Well, I'm really glad it played and that they danced. Maybe somebody out there knows the tune. They're mostly, childhood nursery rhyme songs, but I didn't know that one. So let's continue down. We're gonna head back to Fifth Avenue. Oh, sorry. Traffic jam. And we lucked out seeing the sea lions play with a ball. That was cool. So we'll take the path here out of the park through the zoo. I'm sure I have many, many, many visits to the zoo in my family's future. Let's head back to Fifth Avenue. And as we pop out of this end of the park, we're entering Midtown Manhattan. So the Fifth Avenue shopping district.
I did, of course.
This corner of the park, letting out onto Manhattan's Grand Army Plaza, next to the Plaza Hotel. Any of our Home Alone fans. Yeah, Layla, we really lucked out with the weather today. So I got this, I was saying earlier that get these emails from the city and they did a weather alert about the wind, 40-mile-per-hour wind. But it hasn't been too bad so far. Oh, should we, let me get you guys the cool panorama before we leave the park. When in Rome. When in Rome. It's such a beautiful sky today, so we gotta go get the panorama. So I'm gonna walk up this little rock face here. Try not to trip on the gimbal. Carriage rides to our left. And if you take this path over here, this takes you right to the rink, which we'll probably get a view of in a moment. But let's try to walk up here without falling. Little urban hiking. But the view is so worth it. Yeah, Ollie, that timing just worked out super nice. At first I didn't think it would, but we had the sea lions to entertain us. All right, so we're gonna get a cool panorama here. So that's Central Park South, and then the towers of Billionaires Row along 57th Street. And then one of my all-time favorite parts of the park, Gapstow Bridge and the pond. So behind us, and I think it was Brenda asking if there's still ice skating. So let me see if I can zoom in enough. That's Woolman Rink, the ice skating rink. And I can see the ice skating. Let me see if I can zoom in enough. Let's see. Down. Okay, it's a little tough to see, but through the trees, you can sort of see the ice skaters. And it actually looks pretty busy. Hey, Sal's here, good to see you. Sal says in the 1970s during the summer they had concerts at Woolman Skating Rink. We paid $2.50 for a ticket. Oh my gosh. That sounds amazing. This really looks like spring, doesn't it? Looks more like spring than anything else. Let me try to get you a view of these, all the wildlife here in the pond. And you could see some of the ducks and the geese with their butts in the air. Going for a little swim, a little dunk. Isn't this amazing? So this is one of my favorite parts of the park. It's just so peaceful over here. It's another part during winter looks amazing, during spring looks amazing. Yeah, let's get another panorama and then we'll head back. We'll head over to Fifth Avenue next. Gosh, it's a gorgeous day. All right. Onwards, walkers. All right, let's try to safely get down. So this is what I'm walking down, by the way, at like a healthy angle over here. This would not be fun if there was any ice. Somebody said be nimble with the gimbal. Yeah. So that's one path. You can take that little path right there, but I think I'm gonna take the safer path today. Hey, Shiva's here. Good to see you. Checking in from Toronto. Welcome. So we're gonna head out of the park now over to Grand Army Plaza. Go see today's a good day to see the Grand Army Plaza because you'll see in a second it's really gonna shine with the sky. And then we'll walk down Fifth. Back to Fifth we go. But that was a good little Central Park detour, don't you think? And again, if you're new around here or haven't caught it yet, I did a 2-hour video from Central Park yesterday. No talking, but rain sounds. Beautiful rain sounds, so check that out if you'd like. It's either Ollie or Dr. Seuss. Yeah, I get the two confused. There's a little water trough over here where occasionally I'll see the Parks Department horses or the NYPD horses drinking. I don't hear any clomping though. So let's head over to Grand Army Plaza and go see some of our art and statues today. This is a temporary piece of art called Ancestor. Officially, this side of the street, it's Doris Friedman Plaza. And then as we cross this side of the street, but I gotta wait for the cars, this is Grand Army Plaza. And then across the street, it's yet another plaza, Pulitzer Plaza, with the Pulitzer Fountain.
Okay, take your time.
An embarrassment of plazas. Okay, hopping across. All right. A lot of screenshots today. A lot of good screenshot moments. We go to the front. This is like perfectly blue sky. Gorgeous day. Especially compared to yesterday. This is the famous Plaza Hotel. I think last time we looked, something on the order of $900 a night, plus or minus. Gotta say, that's on my bucket list. Across the street, Cipriani and the Sherry Netherland Hotel, and a beautiful clock here. And then we enter shopping territory, Dior, the Apple Store. Apple Store, great for resting in addition to shopping. Good restrooms, clean, nice people. And then as we work our way down Bloomingdale's, or excuse me, Bergdorf Goodman. What am I talking about? Still got baby brain. Bergdorf Goodman. And I'll show you guys a little secret here at Apple Fifth Avenue, which is, these are all seats, but they're also skylights into the stores. And let's see if we can see anybody today. Ooh, too many, it's just reflections. It's a lot easier at night. A lot easier at night. Just beautiful reflections. Huh. Depending on the lighting, you can actually look into the skylights and see people shopping. It's pretty cool. Apple Store. And the beautiful Plaza Hotel, and they've thankfully taken down a lot of the scaffolding. There's still a little at the bottom level, but they've taken down much of the scaffolding. So you can see the beautiful Plaza Hotel. So I think we've seen Kasama a couple times. Why don't we go do a little window shopping at the women's department of Bergdorf's. And if you're really into window shopping, I posted a little nighttime video of Ralph Lauren windows on the Upper East Side. May try to do more of that, just little short videos of some of the best shopping windows. It's like a little 5-minute video. Ooh, I think they've updated these, so this will be good. I don't think I've seen these yet. This is the spring preview. Behind Bergdorf, you can probably see the Paris Theater, one of the New York City classic movie theaters, operated now by Netflix. So if you ever want to see a Netflix movie on the big screen, this is a good place to do that. So let me just walk to the end of Bergdorf so we get all the windows. This one's never as good, but whatever. Terry enjoyed the Ralph Lauren video. Thank you for that. Yeah, this one's always a little random. They really start over on this side. Let's see. Only in New York, a dream dinner party for New York Fashion Week. Ooh, that's really pretty. That's pretty cool.
All right.
Here's more of the dinner party. All right, and then as we get to this side, I think the actual fashion begins, as opposed to just the fun artworks. Terry said it was a good video. I had to go out shopping for Ralph Lauren the next day. It's on my to-do list to price out. They have the most ridiculous, fancy baby clothes. I've been meaning to price out an outfit for my kiddo one day just for laughs, like a full outfit. ABX said bubblegum pink Gloria Vanderbilt jeans from her mom as a gift. That's incredible. The one in white is giving real straitjacket vibes. I don't know if that was intentional or not. That's funny. Interesting. So we've done this a couple times, so I think we're going to skip it today. But if you want to see, we have a short and we have other live videos where we go visit the Kasama robot, painting her famous polka dots. And do you guys remember during the holiday season when they had the UNICEF snowflake above this intersection? I missed that. Well, let's head down 5th. More stores to see, more sights to see. Right? Tell me if you think I'm off base there. That's what I was seeing. Tiffany.
Medical in your eyes.
Prada on our right. Sierra says Kasama robot. Yeah, check our shorts. I think it's probably the last short we did. Abercrombie. Across the street, Gucci, Armani. Lots of high-end shopping over here, huh? And then this is where Harry Winston used to be, but it's now, they relocated near the St. Regis. If you're looking, for like a $80,000 engagement ring. Which, hey, if you are, lucky you. Some of the beautiful churches here along 5th Avenue. This is 5th Avenue Presbyterian. Just give me a second. Try to get a nice little view here. They have this incredible artwork here. Obviously, most people just go straight to St. Patrick's, but there's a few really beautiful churches along 5th Avenue. And farther up, we obviously saw Temple Beth Emmanuel Synagogue. St. Regis to our left. Peninsula Hotel to our right. To be honest, I might actually want to stay at the Peninsula more than the Plaza. But it's probably pretty close. But every time we walk by the Peninsula Hotel, especially during the holidays, They have the most incredible decorations. So one day, folks, when that YouTube money starts rolling in, right? Rolex? All of this property is still the Peninsula Hotel, and this part must be like a reading room, a library or something, it just looks like they got the big leather chairs, fireplaces. It's a little hard to see. It's easier to see at nighttime, but it just looks like such a beautiful space. Across the street, Canada Goose. Though you didn't really need your Canada Goose this season. Not cold enough most days. And then Coach Stuart Weitzman. Shiva says St. Patrick's Day is less than a month away. Can you believe it? St. Patty's Day. I cannot believe it, because that's honestly feeling like too much like spring, and like we were talking about, we haven't really had winter yet. We had such a lame winter. St. Thomas Church. Yet another beautiful church here. Check out how ornate the front of it is. Kind of reminiscent a little bit of St. Patrick's in some of the decoration, but you'll see the difference in a moment. St. Thomas and Episcopal Church. And then we've mentioned many stores so far already, but here's one that I actually shop at. Uniqlo. This one I actually go to. Jessica S. Are we going to Central Park? We actually were already in Central Park. If you scroll back, probably a half hour. We did a little detour inside. We're mostly walking Fifth Avenue today, but we did a little detour into Central Park. So if you want a lot of Central Park, I posted a video, 2-hour video from yesterday, 2 hours of rain sounds in Central Park. Serious ASMR relaxation video. Ferragamo on our left. Kind of got some Rihanna vibes over there. Zara. Coming up on Nike. And another beautiful store, to me one of the most beautiful stores on Fifth Avenue, the Cartier store. Was the person painting inside of Louis Vuitton. So it's a animatronic, it's a robot. It's a robot, but it's hyper realistic. So if you go check out our shorts, you can see a video of the robot. So it's a robot of a real person, an artist named Kasama. One of the things she's famous for is painting these polka dots, and so they made a robot doing that. And it's super realistic. You can get right up close to it. And honestly, people will ask if it's real. But it is indeed a robot. St. Patrick's. I mean, truly magnificent structure. Lots of people enjoyed the rain sounds as intended. Yeah. Almost went live, but we just had, like, every now and then I just want those soundscapes. And that was one of those days. I had to cut out a little at the beginning because as I was walking, I tried to get some footage of walking into the park, but somebody who was sitting in their car, was letting their car alarm go off. I don't think they were stealing the car. I think they were just being obnoxious for some reason. And then there was another section at the very beginning. You might notice there's a subtle skip ahead moment, and it's because there was this absurd construction noise. And for most of my no talking videos, I think you guys can tell I really try not to edit those, but it was too obnoxious. Lego store. You can see there's a Friends set. I bet that cost $200. I love these little windows though.
Thank you.
Brooklyn Bridge.
16.
Brenda's asking, will we be at the St. Patrick's Day Parade? Yeah, we're gonna try. Everything, whenever I go live, is just dependent on what's going on in the family life. But I would love to cover the parade. And as the weather gets nice again, if last year was any indication, it was like there were parades every week or two. So I'll do my best. Just depends on how things are going at home. Let's go get another good look at St. Patrick's. Layla says, car alarms just reverberate and bounce off all the buildings in the city. It's so annoying. But like last night, really late last night, somebody decided to set off fireworks near us. And the thing is, it's like you just annoyed 3,000 people who are trying to go to sleep. All right, as we enter the busiest section of Fifth Avenue, I'm noticing the network get a little crunchy, so bear with us, we'll get through it. There's just so many people over here. But my apologies if we buffer. Atlas. And I've told you guys, I mean, the best is the Ralph Lauren on the Upper East Side, but Ralph's Coffee, best smelling coffee in New York City. Save your Starbucks, come to Ralph's. I mean, obviously go to a local coffee shop, but if you're not, go to Ralph's. Oh yeah, Ambrose, when like those super loud cars or the bikes go by. My wife hates those so much, especially when it's like, 40 bikes she hates that. I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting going on at Saks. Whoever thought Ralph Lauren would be selling coffee? I know, but I guess it brings people in. It's the one on the Upper East Side, it is always packed. Sorry, let me... Anybody remember the holiday windows there? Rockefeller Center over here. Unfortunately, the network is kind of a little rough over here today, so I think we're going to skip Rockefeller Center. Let's continue down. Let's get away from here. Hopefully get to a stronger signal in a little bit. More of Fifth. We'll come back to Rockefeller another day. A lot of people out today. It's a beautiful day right now. So we'll make our way down to 42nd Street next. and the New York Public Library, but also a beautiful view of the Chrysler Building at the corner of 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. So let's head that away. And I guess before we do that, I always like to stop here. This is the Charles Scribner and Sons building. Just gorgeous. It's now a Club Monaco. Somebody was reminding me the other day, maybe it was my wife, that it used to be a Sephora.
It's called a
Dave and Bangor, Maine. Hey, good to see you. Yeah, LA, it's super smart. Super smart. And it gets folks to just stick around there, and they'll probably, repeat visit over and over again. We just gotta wait for the light to change. To our left, a little hard to tell. We're just seeing the corner of it, but this is the new JP Morgan Chase headquarters, still under construction. If you check out any of our Madison Avenue or Park Avenue videos, we see it fairly often. On our right, Lululemon. That's so funny. Somebody was trying to leave Lululemon, and the guy was measuring the door, so she got stuck behind the door. You're starting to see busy 5th Avenue, where the whole sidewalk is full of people up ahead. Haven't seen some of these sites in a long time. Can we cut across? Yeah, we can cut across. So somebody's exiting the cab, so the traffic isn't coming. Adidas on our left. Awesome to see New York thriving, yeah. It's back, baby. And it actually is starting to feel back. So we had this holiday season was like, the city felt super busy. Like if you were walking on 5th at night, it was like standing room only. And then immediately after the holidays, it kind of cooled off a bit, visitor-wise. But now it's kind of a random time, and there's tons of people, so it definitely feels back. This is the Philippine Center, so this is home to the Philippine Consulate. It's kind of a beautiful little entryway here, right? It does not look like most of the rest of 5th Avenue. They put their own little Philippine touch on it. It's really beautiful. And then I don't think I'm going to make it over there right now, but across the street is the Fred French building. That little entryway right in the middle of the frame right now is like gold. And it's just one of the most beautiful it's just random little spot, beautiful little entryway. But as I was saying, it's a little busy, so I'm not going to hop across every intersection. Is the light changing? Yes. Cars are stopping. Ugh. Who needs an Ugg? Ali asks, will the offices and subway recoup? That's a good question. So That's a good question. My personal view is a lot of office workers, if they had their choice, would like to permanently have flexibility. The bosses, the mayor, the governor, they would prefer people come back to the office 5 days a week. So that fight is ongoing, but I have a feeling that the office workers are winning. And as two pieces of evidence for that, one, the mayor, who has been super vocal about returning to the office full time, is starting to give a little. And then number two, Google, which is doing a, for them, historic round of layoffs. Oh, there's the old, got to be careful about what words I use, but you guys remember these games? So Google, which is doing a little round of layoffs, which is very unusual for them, is going to have people share desks when they do return to the office, meaning they don't expect people to come in every day of the week. So you'll come in, you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Somebody will come in Tuesday, Thursday. One desk, two people. So we'll see what happens. And with respect to the subway, it's much busier on the weekend than it is, or how should I put this? The weekend ridership has recovered much more than the weekday ridership. So we'll see what happens. But you look around here, the city looks pretty healthy. Coming up to 42nd Street, if we made a left, it would take us to Grand Central Terminal. If we made a right, it would take us to Bryant Park. I had a Midtown video the other day, so if you want to see Bryant Park, went and saw the ice skating. They even have bumper cars on ice there, so if you want to check that out, I have a video from a few days ago. I think it's called Midtown to Times Square, something like that. Sal, yeah, 3-card Monty. The word I was going to say was scam, but I didn't want to say the word scam out loud right there. Hustle, I guess, is another word I could have used. But yes, the famous 3-card Monty on 5th Avenue. I saw those guys there, I don't know, a couple months ago on another nice day. On a nice day when they want to make a few bucks, I guess this is where they head over here. Let's take a quick look facing east for a second. The gorgeous Chrysler building. Jazz lady would like my own desk if I'm going in. Yeah, those shared desks you can't really decorate and stuff, right? It's not really your desk. But let's stay along 5th Avenue. So right here on our immediate right is the main branch Stephen Schwarzman building of the New York Public Library. One of the most beautiful buildings in all of New York City, protected out front by Patience and Fortitude, our two lions. Layla, they would create more, if they would create more live-work housing in the city, they would have zero trouble bringing in tax revenue. Yeah, I really wish they would modify some of the office buildings to housing, but they're really hesitant to do that.
And tomorrow we'll do that.
Stephen Bates here, good to see you. Thanks for joining. We're doing a little wander down 5th Avenue today. And we're just going to keep at it, so let's keep going. I think we're doing okay on battery life. 34th Street coming next, Empire State Building. And for that, we will cross the street so that we can get a slightly better angle. It's a little hard to see the building when you're right directly underneath it. So light's about to change. So let me cross the street here and then cross again, get to the other side of the street. And we'll take this side of the street to 34th for the Empire State Building. Patience and fortitude, Ali. Patience and fortitude. And wherever you are, obviously join your local public library. I'm a member of the New York Public Library, and it's an incredible resource for me. I use an app called Libby, Libby. You plug in your library membership, and at least for me, the New York Public Library works, and you can get ebooks on your whatever device you use for free, and audiobooks. So on a lot of my no talking walks, I'm using Libby to listen to an audiobook. Random stores as we walk down. This is doing sample sale. MedMen is a medical marijuana dispensary. It was one of the old legit ones. Now as that's all legalized here in New York City, they're now competing with all these other storefronts. Used to be, really sketchy stuff. Now it's like real storefronts and stuff. Mostly downtown. Lino's here. Hey, dirty 30s. Sassy Lassie's here. And definitely scroll back for the last half hour or so, we've been window shopping along Fifth Avenue. So lots to see. But I'm in the mood to stretch my legs today, so we're going to start picking up our pace a little bit and try to see more of Fifth Avenue. Get to Madison Square, and then let's see how we're feeling from there. But here, as we come up to 34th Street, so we're at about 37th, start to see the magnificent Empire State Building. Again, with a gorgeous, almost spring-like sky today. Claire is here. Big Bus New York going by. And another luxury hotel, the Langham. Really beautiful property. A lot of fancy hotels here in New York. Terry adores books. Have a book in my hand. What are you reading? I have a good angle here, so we wait for the light to change in a second. Beautiful view. Clara, you're thinking of walks in Wall Street. We have met Tom, actually. He's a super nice guy, but I'm Sean. It's so funny. I'm from Texas. He's from New York. I think we sound very different, but you are not the first person to say that. Here's the Empire as we cross 35th Street. Ooh, the sun is right in my eye. Just give me a second. I'll try to get a better angle where I can actually see what I'm looking at. Oh, there we go. That's a pretty cool view with the street sign. Little screenshot there. On our left, CUNY, City University of New York Graduate Center. Terry says, I'm reading the Prendergast series by Preston, and child loved that series. Interesting. My wife is the more frequent reader in our household, so I'll have to find out from her if she's familiar with that. On one of our last walks, we found a really interesting bookstore. Actually, we were walking west. It was like a theater-oriented bookstore, wasn't it? Need to find the name of that again. Looked really interesting. But here we are, 34th Street. And I'm actually going to stay on this side of the street because the next big site is Madison Square Park. So I think I'm going to stick to this side of the street. Let's see if we can get another good angle almost directly underneath the Empire State Building. See, this is what I mean. You want to be a little farther from the Empire State Building to get the best views of it. Because you want to see the top and the spire, the very tip top. I'm not a big Starbucks guy, but obviously many people are familiar that the Reserve just opened here. My wife and I have been having a lot of Bluestone Lane recently. But as I said, the best smelling coffee in New York City is at Ralph's, at the flagship Ralph Lauren store on the Upper East Side, 72nd Street and Madison Avenue. That's my recommendation if you're going to do something chainy. Let me get you a view directly opposite. Ooh, and here's the wind. Hey, Wolfgang's here. Good to see you. That's a pretty good view. But yeah, like I said, I think you want to be back a little farther to get the best pictures. Over here, so we're on 5th Avenue between 34th and 33rd. To me, the best views of the Empire are actually from the west. So if you go towards 7th, 8th, 9th Avenues, you get some really spectacular pictures of the Empire State Building. And if you do that, you get to go over to Macy's, or you can go to Hudson Yards and go to the High Line. Ooh, Should we do that? Let's go do the High Line. I want to do the High Line. Sorry, I talked myself into it. We'll see Madison Square another time. Let's go to the High Line. So the thing with the High Line is, I've told you guys, during winter, it closes early. So during summer, you can go till like 11 o'clock. During winter, it closes at 7. And I just almost never have the time now to get over to it. So let's go do the High Line. Ooh, Lembeck had a woodpecker. Woody woodpecker? And Wolfgang is in New York but still enjoy watching. Hey, we like having people from all over, including people from New York.
Then they go for like 3 hours.
So as we make our way west along 33rd Street. Probably notice a lot of the Korean restaurants, a lot of the bars. But we're going to hightail it as far west as we can take it, basically, over towards Hudson Yards, so kind of the 10th Avenue realm, and hop on the High Line. It's probably going to be mega windy, but hopefully our little mic cover will protect you guys. But I think I'd like to go check out the High Line today, if you'll indulge me. It's been a minute since we've done that. And I felt inspired.
A girl working there.
So let's go hightail it over to the High Line. And it'll also, for those of you who are not in New York, it'll give you some indication of how close or far things are from each other. So we're going to walk from 5th Avenue west, 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 west. Coming up on to our left, Greeley Square. You can take 32nd. Or you can go to the right, Herald Square of 34th Street. This is 6th Avenue. As well as Broadway. Let's cross the street here. And, you know, maybe we'll walk along 34th so we can see Macy's. And then when we get to like 8th Avenue, or 7th or 8th Avenue, we'll turn back and we'll see the another view of the Empire. How does that sound? It really is a beautiful day here in New York. Not too cold, not too windy. You could go into Macy's or you could just shop on the street right here. Lots of vendors. Gonna try to hustle across before the lights change. Let's see if there's anything on this side. Their windows haven't been super interesting the last couple times I was here, so. Yeah, it's like showing a catalog, so we're just gonna stay on 34th instead of going up. This is an interesting sight. Yes. Police officers like, what are you doing? That's funny. I gotta say, their windows are not very impressive this season. Too many just straight up advertisements. Not super interesting. Unfortunately. Much better at Bergdorf. And then one of these days I'll make it over to Bloomingdale's. It's been a minute since I've been to Bloomingdale's. And maybe I'll turn that Bergdorf section of this video into another little short video. Lino's mentioning the main entrance. Give me a second. Let me see if we can get the good view over here. We have a light, so we might as well take it. You're totally right. So let me show you the main entrance. You are correct. Thank you for calling that out. Oh, and I missed this. My wife just texted me. I apologize. I was staring at the Nathan's cart driving onto the sidewalk. But Brenda Freeland with a $20 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. 20 times over. Brenda, that is so kind of you. Thank you for contributing to our little channel and for hanging on out with us and for always leaving such wonderfully kind comments. So thank you, Brenda. And big shout out to my wife who texted me. Wolfgang says my wind chimes are going crazy outside. Yeah, I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I get these New York City alerts from the city, and they emailed today 40 mile per hour wind gusts. Oh, it was 40 mile per hour winds, so I guess the gusts would have been even stronger. But we've had some gusts, but we've been pretty lucky so far on this walk. I think though when we get, the High Line gets very windy, so I'm thinking when we get over there it'll be pretty windy. Ollie says, can you spot the undercover law enforcement? Ooh, that's a good question. A lot of the times, there's a ton of unmarked cars in the city, including some that look like yellow cabs. All right, let's head west. Saw a little bit of Macy's. When we get over to 7th, we'll start to turn around and see if we can get a nice view of Empire. Now that we're a little more distant from it. And then as we get to 7th, 8th Avenue, we're in the realm of, we were gonna go to Madison Square Park, but now we're gonna be towards Madison Square Garden. And for those curious about the name, it's because the garden used to be at the park. All right, the officer's still letting people go, so I'm gonna take advantage of that and cross. And then when we cross, let me turn around and show Empire. Hopefully we have a nice view from here. Cool little view. Let's actually go to 33rd. Let's walk down 33rd instead of 34th from here. Sometimes there's construction, so we'll have to see if I can cut through. I hope I can cut through. Hopefully this was not a stupid mistake on my part. Where can I cut through? Hopefully over here. Ooh, is it gonna make me go through Penn Station? Ah, screwed up. All right, scratch that. Used to be a way to cut through, but I don't see it anymore. Too much construction.
It's all right. So then I can't.
Hey, Gettysburg Mammoth's here. Good to see you. Hopefully you can hear my voice, but the connection kind of crappy right now. So let me just trying to get past the this little area. Hopefully it'll come back soon. Hopefully it'll come back in a minute. Otherwise I might futz with the connection, see if we can kick it in the pants. Starting to come back. Hopefully it's coming back. Anyways, good to see you, Gettysburg, man.
Go to Columbus Park.
You can hear us? Okay. Well, hopefully it'll start coming back as we get away from all this metal structures and stuff. I'm going to hang a left here on 8th so we can go see the
What's the big extension?
Moynihan train station. Train Hall, I guess it's called. And that should give us one last view of the Empire State Building, as well as Madison Square Garden. Yeah, hopefully it's all coming back in a second now. Clear view of the sky again. Gosh, when you're actually in the sun, it's actually warm. Yeah, he's a little sketchy, but not terrible. Yeah, I have lots of videos from like 8th Avenue and stuff if you guys want to see more of it. But one little surprise is if you turn left right here at the corner, gorgeous view of the Empire. And then here is the garden. Gettysburg asked, was it warm yesterday? No, yesterday it was pretty cold. Down to the 30s, and rain and sleet and hail. So we actually posted a video yesterday, 2 hours of rain in Central Park, and it was kind of like freezing rain, super cold. So this is Moynihan Train Hall. Formerly post office building. What was it, the Farley building? And this is where you can catch Long Island Railroad, Amtrak, and it's beautiful inside, but in typical modern, annoying New York City fashion, there's basically no seating to be found. So it's a little annoying actually functionally being in there, but it is beautiful. It is really beautiful. Beautiful space, just not super functional. Gettysburg asking how the family's doing. We're doing okay, we're hanging in there. Kiddo's doing great. We've had some ups and downs over the last few weeks, which you may have heard about, but we're all hanging in there. But most importantly, the kiddo's doing great. So no worries there. So we're gonna make our way a little farther west to Hudson Yards, where we will hop onto the High Line, New York City's elevated park, and do a little walk of the High Line. Layla says California's getting all of New York City snow this winter. I heard there was going to be some absurd weather in California. Some like really weird stuff was going to happen. So, sending our best wishes to all of our West Coast friends. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. And Oscar, I think, was asking how old we're at the 4-month mark. Time is flying. On our right, a true New York City landmark, B&H Photo Video, one of the best photography stores in the world. They strictly observe the Sabbath, though, so it's not always open during Jewish holidays. But you can browse the website anytime. And if you're ever in New York, I really, really recommend visiting B&H. It's an incredible store. And it'll bring you right over here to Moynihan, Madison Square, and Hudson Yards, so it's worth visiting. We have our light, so let's cross 9th Avenue. As we make our way over to Hudson Yards. This is Manhattan West. Gaisberg says Casey Neistat visits B&H quite often. I've heard they're not. I've heard they're not exactly fans of people filming inside there, which is, you'll notice a lot of people don't film inside. There's big differences between public and private spaces when it comes to filming. And even though they're a photography store, people want to shop in peace, I suppose. But it would be fun to film inside there. It is like a wonderland for photographers and videographers and all that jazz. It's really fun.
Yeah, we can see. But it takes a while.
Great shopping opportunities there. But we're continuing west over here to Hudson Yards. Says 4 months, lots of new personality traits coming forth. Yeah, we're definitely noticing that. His big new thing is he holds his own bottle now, putting me out of a job. Tell you what, it's both incredible and you're also like, everything you were ever told about how quickly, they go from newborn to the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. You're like, oh, all of that was true. But yeah, he's definitely developing personality. We're still working on that whole sleep thing, so I can continue to use that as an excuse for when I have all these brain blips. She was really singing. Good for her. She was feeling that music. All right, so we crossed 10th Avenue. We are now entering Hudson Yards. This entrance over here you can take to the Edge, which is one of the city's observation decks. It's one of the ones I actually quite like. I've probably said this many times before, but the thing about the Empire State Building, if you go to its observation deck, is you can see everything but the Empire State Building. The one I haven't been to, I have not been to the one Vanderbilt one yet, though, so I don't know how that one is. It's probably pretty good. I've heard good things. Brenda says, wait till he throws it. He definitely has begun to throw things. Ooh, serious wind all of a sudden. The thing with the city is the windiest part is the waterfront, and the waterfront is just a couple avenues away. And I figured the High Line was going to be pretty windy. It's pretty windy. This will be fun. Ooh. Brisk. Marv said the reason no seating is to prevent loitering. The problem is, I mean, I know that's why they do it. The problem is when you're traveling, you're exhausted, if you're elderly, if you have a physical need, it turns out there's lots of reasons people need to sit. And, you know, the solution to loitering is not to have no seating. It's to focus on any loitering issues. Ooh, it is so windy here. It's pushing me back. Whew. Yeah, hold on. Let me kick the connection again. Give me a second. Okay, are we back? Let me know if we're back. I kicked the connection in the butt. Let me know if you can hear me again. But we've made it to Hudson Yards. The wind is incredibly strong. So you'll probably start to hear that. But hopefully you guys can hear me again. Awesome. We're back. Terry's heading out. Hey, it was good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Thanks as always. This is the vessel. Really interesting piece of art. You can no longer go up, but you can go into the middle section right here, take some photos. I think today I'd just like to head over to the High Line. And this is the shops at Hudson Yards. A luxury shopping mall over here. And over here is the Shed. They do art exhibitions. And this section here, you can see at the ground level, there's wheels and track. This top section can scooch back, which I would love to catch on video one day, though I can't imagine it goes very fast. Let me get one last view of the vessel before we head over into the High Line. Brent asks, will the High Line be running with the wind? Ooh, that's a good question. I've never noticed it to be closed, except for time of day. So let's find out, but I think it'll be open. It may be super, super windy though, but that's more of a problem for me than for you. You can really hear the wind like whistling over here. Yeah, there's all these little pockets over here where the wind is probably going in and out, in and out. So there's a spur that goes this way over to the Javits Center, but it's been closed. It says installation in progress, so hopefully it'll be reopened at some point. There's also a spur over here, but we're just going to go on the main High Line today. Pastry chef is here. Good to see you. Making me hungry for pastry all of a sudden. That sounds pretty nice. Whew. You can really feel the wind over here. My gimbal hand has a glove on. My other hand doesn't, so I could play around with the phone. But that hand is going in the pockets now. Oh, that's so funny. Literally, as I say those words, guy walks up in shorts. Too cold for shorts. Oh, you like the night views? Yeah. I think that's so funny. The people on these floors, they really have to put up with a lot of people staring in their apartments. Ooh, I can't wait for this scaffolding to go away. There's used to be some nice art over here. You can see it peeking through the scaffolding, but it'd be nice when that comes down. Yeah, there's going to be lots more connection and spurs off of the High Line. It's going to be amazing. I think it's incredible as it is, but it's going to be really fun as it connects to more of the city. It's one of my favorite walks, this little stretch. So roughly, you know, what would it be, like 32nd to 14th, thereabouts. Actually, no, it's a little farther because it goes to, is it Gansevoort? Something like that. The city gets so silly when you get into the West Village. In meatpacking districts, the street names become a tangled web. Hey, Walks and Cameras here. And Julio, good to see you. Oh, you're a fan of Chelsea Market. Yeah, we'll be walking on top of it in a little while. There's a really fancy looking apartment building here. So I do have to pick up my pace slightly. I'm sure my wife would love me to get home, but actually when it gets really cold, the battery starts to run through. And we've had a somewhat challenging connection today, which I think also eats into the battery. So I actually got to start moving a little bit if we want to see the whole High Line. So apologies if you wanted a really slow walk. Gonna have to pick up the pace a little bit if we want to see the High Line. There's usually some art over here. Oh, it's these metal sculptures. Simple but pretty. That's cool. Anybody remember what was here last? Ooh, look at this one. Jetson's apartment. Yeah, that's right.
Your little submarine out? Yeah.
Ja, mit Tageslicht sagen, bei Dunkelheit kannst du weg.
You can see the train tracks used to run here. The best parts of the High Line are when you see where the trains ran through buildings. Just incredible. It's really fun over here.
Get a number.
So this is more fun at night. But right here, you're going to see a woman just put her eyes through those binoculars and is probably wondering what's going on with them. So the binoculars actually point into your eyes and project an image of your eyes on these two screens. So hopefully that person's going to look in. We can see their eyeballs. And nobody reads the signs, so they don't know what's happening. Should we go tell them? The way this works, when you look in, it's showing your eyes right there. So you're not looking out, we're looking at you. That's so funny. S Fields, no, nobody reads. Part of the fun as an observer is seeing that happen probably 80% of the time. And this always cracks me up. There's a school right here, and so these kids have lunch on the High Line. Can you imagine how incredible that would be? Your daily lunch at school, sitting on one of the nicest parks in the world. He had a little bit of an accent, so it was probably a visitor. And here's this guy comes up yelling at him. Oh well. I got a kick out of it. S Field says same thing with business emails. It's all there, just read. Yeah, my wife would agree with you just about 5,000% on that point. People not reading their emails is among the most annoying little annoyances in the world. And it's those little annoying things that are the most annoying. Look at this little terrace right here. How nice is that? Get his yeah. Yep. What is happening? Austin City Limits, good to see you. So to our right, Chelsea Piers. And then up ahead, and we'll get a nice view of it, we'll see Little Island in a little bit. And as I was saying, I gotta keep moving because the battery just keeps going down and down and down.
Yeah.
And some of the time, I do have a battery, but on a day like today, when the wind is so strong, you guys wouldn't hear a word of what I was saying, so we just got to use what we have today. Got to use the mic today. Diana Lee, good to see you. Crossing 23rd Street now. Coming up on one of my favorite pieces of art along the High Line. They always do a series of paintings on this side of the building here. And this one, we've spoken about it before, but if you've not seen it, it's basically somebody's interpretation of their first, of sort of being in New York for the first time. And I love it. Hey, Sunset Blue. Nathan, good to see everybody. Let me scooch back a bit so we can get the full effect. So just give me a second here. But I love this. So you have the Statue of Liberty, pizza, Big Apple, pigeons, the 6 train.
What about like
Oh, I love this.
we could do
So it says Nina Chanel Abney. I'm gonna have to look her up because clearly I'm gonna be a fan of her other work. But I love this. All right, onwards, folks. We gotta keep moving. I want to see the whole High Line today. To our left, Keith Haring, Basquiat, Frida Kahlo. But we must go onwards. Nathan asking about the owl. We were talking about him a little bit a while ago, but the big update on Flacco. So Flacco, the
I said, ma'am, service dog.
minor celebrity here in New York City, the owl on the lam in Central Park. The big update is the zoo was initially trying to recover him, but once it became clear that he was able to hunt and fend for himself and feed himself, they basically pulled back on that operation. So he's free and seems to be doing well. He's moved, I think, to the kind of upper western quadrant of the park. I haven't seen him there yet, but one of these days we'll go try to find him one more time, get a nice view. But he seems to be living his best owl life, and hopefully he will continue to thrive in the park. I still need to find Geraldine though, so there's a second owl in the park that I've never been able to find yet. So more owl explorations to come one of these days. Let me turn around though. One more view of the Empire State Building. You guys can go ahead.
No, thank you.
People are too polite. My view in the modern era is that for digital photography, people have to walk in front of you. You have to expect it because you can take an infinite number of pictures. But they were clearly not from New York and so polite. Very kind of them. For those of you who are super familiar with the High Line, the next big art installation is You Know Who I Am. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The Lantern Building here, though I think of it more as the Beer Barrel Building. And again, we can stare right into these people's apartment units. It's such an odd thing. Polite kind, we need more of that. We sure do. We sure do. Oh, that was funny. She was hand holding a tiny GoPro. Not on a handle of any sort, just literally the camera. Don't see that too often. Ooh, it is mega windy over here. Super cold. Ooh, Osfly had a birthday, 33rd. Hey, happy birthday. Hope it's a great year ahead. Full of all good things. Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi. Always a beautiful image. But let's go see You Know Who I Am. And for our veteran viewers, you know the trick over here, which is we're going to see the Statue of Liberty, and we're going to see the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty squared. So let's get this lined up if we can. But you have two statues of Liberty here. If we can do this right. Two statues of Liberty. Yeah, I see the connection. We have not had our luck today. Hopefully it'll come back. Somebody was mentioning earlier the Chelsea Market. That's right here. Ah, your 33rd anniversary in Austin. I love Austin. Breakfast tacos. Sorry, it's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Austin. Oh, yeah, this is a good one today. This is a really good one today. So the story here is every month or two, they change the face of this Statue of Liberty called You Know Who I Am. But I actually heard it's coming to an end soon. So as you can see, April 2022 to March 2023. So this is the last month here. So it is entirely possible this is, this time, maybe one more time, this might be the last time we see this. So let's, while we're here, about the person portrayed on the current mask. Yel Yadi is one of 5 individuals whose likeness will grace the sculpture over the course of its installation on the High Line. An indigenous artist, carpenter, union stagehand, and commercial fisherman living in Anchorage, Alaska. Incredible. That's been one of my favorite installations at the High Line ever. I just think it's so cool. Wasn't that fun? Well, we'll try to see it at least one more time before it goes, but coming to the end. As we come out here, so again, we're now walking through basically the structure of Chelsea Market, which is a great place for shopping and eating. As we face to our right, we will start to see Little Island. Sorry about the beeping, they're doing some construction right nearby. Let me kick the connection one more time, just give me a second. Eh,
And the security guard comes out, he's like,
does not appear to have helped very much. So what I may do is if I get the backup file, I might repost this later, and it won't have any buffering. So stay tuned for that. But we're coming to the end anyways. So apologies for the choppiness. Can't win them all. Valerie's here. We're in Manhattan, in Chelsea, entering the meatpacking district on the High Line. And we're facing right now Little Island off to the side. And right here, if you can see that little metal structure that used to welcome the White Star Lines, and it's where the Titanic was supposed to dock. Kind of an interesting little site that has been landmarked, so that's staying there. And right here we're crossing 14th Street. Oh, the buffering lets you know it's live. And Diana Lee, nobody's perfect. You know, you can't win them all. That's part of the joys of the live stream. It's part of the reason why I still do so many recorded walks, because you just, well, like I was saying before, I'll listen to like an audiobook or something, so it's kind of my mental relaxation. But then you know there's no buffering. It is what it is. Ooh, and the battery just dropped precipitously. So we are coming to the end right here. So the High Line ends just up ahead at the Whitney. We're crossing right now underneath the Standard Hotel. But just past it is the Whitney, which marks the end of the High Line. So I'll start to say my goodbyes now. One last view of the White Star Line and Little Island. But want to say a big thank you to my wife, Lisa. Again, everybody send your love to Lisa. Not had our easiest month ever. Had a big loss in her life and our lives. So send your love and strength to Lisa. She needs it. And of course, thank you to Lisa for looking after the kiddo while I go wander the city for you guys and with you guys. Thanks to the mods, viewers, chatters, everybody who participates. Big thank you to Brenda for the contribution today. That meant a lot. If you're looking for something to watch next, we posted a 2-hour video from Central Park yesterday of just rain sounds. So I hope you'll check that out. A couple people today said it helped them fall asleep. But to everybody else, we'll be back in New York City live again sometime soon. We never know when, so hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you feel like it, hit the like button. If you want to support us, hit the share button. And we'll hang out again sometime real soon. Ooh, and a $3 super sticker from Gettysburg, ma'am. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you 3 times over. We appreciate you. We appreciate your contributions. We appreciate your support and for hanging on out with us. And if you're in New York, go check out this beautiful sunny day. So signing off from New York City. We'll see you again real soon. Take care, everybody. Bye. Oh, Donna, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all of the kind wishes and support for the longest time. Thank you, Donna. Take care, everybody. Bye.